Hey guys, today we're talking about the innovations in the Cameroon taxation for the 2025 fiscal year. Now let's talk about taxes which are being phased out. The following taxes are being eliminated and replaced by the general synthetic tax, what is commonly known in French as Impôt Général Synthétique, IGS. There is the flat rate tax, what commonly known as the global tax, business license tax for taxpayers under the simplified regime, mostly known in French as patent, municipal livestock tax, hygiene and sanitation tax, temporary public road occupation fee, commonly known as OTVP in French, market ticket, entertainment tax, parking tax, stadium fees, advertising tax. These or the above are all replaced by the general synthetic tax. Talking about the taxes which are maintained or transformed, we can talk about the business license for taxpayers under the real regime, applicable to those with an annual turnover exceeding 50 million. Means that taxpayers with a turnover of more than 50 million are liable to the business license, in French, patent. License for beverage sellers, mandatory for all individuals selling alcoholic beverages, regardless of the tax regime. Also have property tax determined based on the property location zone. Equally have license on games of chance, as well as list registration fees, special tax duties for household waste collection, local development tax, tourist tax levied on accommodations to promote tourism infrastructure, vehicle stamp mandatory for vehicle owners, advertising stamp duty applicable to advertising services. Now, coming back to the general synthetic tax, as mentioned earlier before, where is it paid? All taxes, duties, and fees are now exclusively payable at local taxation and individual centers, commonly known in French as les centres de fiscalité locale et de particulier, which replaces divisional tax centers. All tax payments can now be made online, enhancing convenience and efficiency. How is it calculated? The general synthetic tax is based on the annual turnover, tax exclusive, and is calculated according to the following tariff. Annual turnover of less than 500,000 francs, they pay 20,000. Or greater than 500,000 and less than 1 million, 30,000. Between 1 million to 1.5 million, 40,000. Between 1.5 million to 2 million, 50,000. Between 2 million to 2.5 million, 60,000. Between 2.5 million and 5 million, 150,000. Between 5 million to 10 million, 300,000. Between 10 million to 20 million, 500,000. Between 20 million to 30 million, 1 million. And between 10 million and between 30 million to 50 million, which is the last category, you pay 2 million. Very important to note that those making an annual turnover of less than 10 million are still liable to the payment of licenses or license fee if engaged in an activity that requires it, payment of property tax, lease registration, and other applicable fees such as might be the local development tax. And for those making an annual turnover between 10 to 50 million, they are exempted from the payment of the business license known as patent. So they are no more required to make minimum perceptions on the turnover for the purpose of the income tax. Or let me talk about the advance payment on the income tax. But the obligations include the payment of the general synthetic tax, IGS, license fee if engaged in an activity that requires it, property tax, lease, registration, and other applicable fees, taxes withheld at source, such as withholding tax on rent, and salaries, as well as other applicable deductions. Talking about fiscal and accounting obligations, all enterprises, companies, or businesses liable to the general synthetic tax are required to submit by March 15 of every year the declaration of all income received by the company during the previous fiscal year. The general synthetic tax declaration to be filed within 15 days following the end of each quarter. This therefore means that, for example, the declaration of the general synthetic tax for the first quarter of 2025 will be latest the 15th of April. So, taxpayers with a turnover between 10 to 50 million are required to maintain accounts according to the minimal cash system, commonly known as the simplified system. Finally, individuals or physical persons subject to the general synthetic tax must fill their annual personal income declaration latest on the 31st of October. These are aimed to simplify the tax system, enhancing compliance and supporting the growth of businesses in Cameroon. You will want to follow us to continuously have insights on Cameroon taxes, and in case you need any fiscal or accounting assistance, you can contact Professed Consulting. We are equally organizing a computerized accounting bootcamp you might not want to miss. See you soon for more insights.